Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel. So it is 3 a.m., and I am sitting here staring at my computer screen. My eyes are burning. The coffee is completely cold, but I have to get this out to you guys right now. The deadline is screaming at me. The Bold and the Beautiful is just giving us way too much content right now. I've been typing furiously. My fingers literally hurt from hitting the keys so hard. But we need to talk about Wednesday, the 25th of March, 2026, because wow, just wow. The drama is overflowing, and I need to dump all this raw information right into your laps. So let's just get into it. No fancy words today, just the truth. The clunky, messy, unfiltered truth about what is going down in Los Angeles. Let's start with Melissa Dillon. Poor, confused, messy Melissa Dillon. So she just had her first official day at Forrester Creations, and it should be a happy day, right? A big milestone in her life. She went from washing dirty dishes at Il Giardino to sitting at the receptionist desk at the biggest, most glamorous fashion house in the world. Steffi Forrester Finnegan gave her this chance. Steffi stuck her neck out for her. Even when Electra Forrester was screaming her head off in the showroom, Electra was throwing a massive fit, demanding that Dillon quit immediately. But Dillon said no, she needs this job. She needs the money. She is terrified of being homeless again. So she held her ground and she survived her first day. And now Will Spencer wants to celebrate. Of course he does. Will is a good guy at heart. He wants to do the right thing. He is falling for Dillon, or at least he thinks he is falling for her. So he wants to take her out. He wants to look at her and say, congratulations. He wants to celebrate her new life and their new beginning. But it is all a lie. The whole thing is built on a massive, ugly lie. And Dillon knows it. She is sitting there across from Will, looking at his handsome face, and her stomach is tied in knots because she is keeping the biggest secret in the world right now. But let's back up. How did we get here? So Dillon was just walking around the office doing her new job, and she heard voices. She peeked into the design room and she saw Ivy Forrester and Daphne Rose Walton, and they were arguing. Daphne was upset. Daphne is always upset these days because Daphne knows what Ivy did, and Dillon just stood there listening, eavesdropping, which is like the #1 pastime at Forrester Creations. Everybody listens at doors. So Dillon is listening, and she hears the absolute bombshell. Ivy stole the letter, the heartfelt, emotional letter that Electra wrote to Will. The letter that would have fixed everything between them, Ivy just snatched it, put it right in her purse. And that is not all. Ivy also took Will's broken necklace and she placed it on Electra's desk to send a message, a cruel, calculated message to make Electra think that Will was totally done with her forever, that he had thrown away their symbol of love like it was garbage. It was so evil. It was pure manipulation. And Dillon heard all of it, every single word. So Dillon did something brave, or maybe stupid. She confronted Ivy right there in the open. She busted the evil aunt. Daphne stormed off because she couldn't handle the conflict, and Dillon stepped up. She told Ivy she knew everything, and she said she was going to tell Will Spencer, she was going to tell Electra Forrester, she was going to blow the whole thing up because it is the right thing to do, right? But Ivy is smart, Ivy is cold, Ivy does not play games. So Ivy looked right at Dillon and she dropped the hammer. She told Dillon that if she talks, she loses everything, everything. Ivy pressured Dillon to stay silent. She reminded Dillon of her precarious situation. She is a former art teacher who was washing dishes. She has no money. She has no power. Steffi gave her this job, but Ivy is a Forrester. Ivy can make her life hell. Ivy can get her fired before her first paycheck. Ivy can put her back on the streets. And then Ivy hit her with the emotional blackmail. The real twisted stuff. Ivy said, think about it, Dylan. If you tell the truth, Will and Electra will get back together instantly. They love each other. The only reason they are apart is because of my interference. So if you expose me, Will runs right back into Electra's arms. And where does that leave you? Out in the cold, alone, jobless, boyfriendless. You will have nothing. So Dylan froze. The fear took over. The survival instinct kicked in hard. She needs this job and she wants Will. She really wants Will. They shared that kiss at the beach house. There is a real spark there. So she made a choice, a terrible, selfish, understandable choice. She decided to keep her mouth shut. She let Ivy win. And that brings us back to the celebration. Wednesday, March 25, Will is smiling at Dylan, celebrating her new job at Forrester Creations. And Dylan is smiling back, but it is a fake smile. It is a heavy, guilty smile because she knows the truth. She knows she is Plan B. No girl wants to be Plan B, but that is exactly what she is. Will is only with her because he thinks Electra hates him. He thinks Electra moved on with RJ Forrester. He has no idea that Electra was crying over him, writing him love letters that he never got to read. So Dylan is sitting there, drinking her drink, eating her food, and the guilt is just eating her alive. It is chewing on her insides. She is a good person at her core. I really believe that. She makes questionable decisions, but she is not evil. She is just a girl trying to survive in a rich person's world. But how long can she keep this up? Every time Will kisses her, she is going to taste the lie. Every time he looks at her with affection, she is going to see Electra's stolen letter in her mind. It is going to drive her crazy. She knows Will's relationship with her is based on false assumptions. And I am just typing this out and thinking about the psychology of it all. It is so messed up. Will is totally in the dark. Electra is totally in the dark. And Ivy is just sitting back, watching her master plan unfold perfectly. Ivy is actually spying on Electra and RJ. She wants them together. And it is working because Electra is heartbroken over Will. So she is leaning on RJ. They went for a moonlight swim. They took selfies. It is all falling into place for Ivy. But let's shift gears because my brain is scattered. I am so tired. But we have to talk about Carter Walton and Daphne Rose. Oh boy, this couple, they are newly married. They should be in the honeymoon phase, just happy and carefree, but they are not because Daphne is carrying a massive secret too. She knows exactly what Ivy did. She was there. She watched Ivy steal the letter and it is tearing her apart from the inside. So Wednesday's episode, Daphne and Carter are at home trying to have a romantic evening. They want to start a family. They want a baby. Carter is such a good guy. He is solid. He is reliable. He wants to be a father so badly. And Daphne wants to give him a child, but it is not happening easily. They are having some trouble. There are hints of infertility issues, which is so stressful. Anyone who has been through that knows how hard it is on a marriage. The pressure, the timing, the constant worrying. And speaking of timing, they are trying to be romantic and suddenly beep, Daphne's fertility app goes off. It indicates it is time to try again. The window is open. They have to try right now. It takes all the romance out of it. It becomes a chore, a medical procedure almost, but they fall into intimacy anyway because they want this future together. They want to hold a little baby in their arms. Carter and Daphne grow closer and discuss their hopes of starting a family. Afterwards, they are lying in bed, discussing their dreams for the future. But there is a giant elephant in the room, and the elephant's name is Ivy Forrester. Daphne is so stressed out. She is bottling up this toxic secret. She hates what Ivy is doing. She hates seeing Will and Electra intentionally torn apart. And Carter is very perceptive. He is a smart lawyer. He can tell when his wife is holding something back. So Daphne mentions the issues. She brings up Ivy, Will, and Electra. She doesn't spill the whole secret, not yet. But she hints at the drama. She talks about the mess. And you know what Carter does? He gives her the worst possible advice for a soap opera character. He tells her to stay out of it. He tells his new wife to mind her own business. He recommends she stay out of the drama. He says, let the kids figure it out. We need to focus on us. We need to focus on making a baby. But Carter doesn't know the truth. He doesn't know that Ivy basically committed a crime, stealing mail, sabotaging lives. If Carter knew the actual truth, he would flip out. He is a man of the law. He believes in justice. He would march right over to Will and tell him everything. But Daphne stays quiet. She listens to her husband. She puts her family dreams first. But how long can that last? With the fertility app dictating their lives and the stress of the secret weighing on her chest, Daphne is going to crack. I can feel it. She is going to burst into tears one day and just word vomit the whole story to Carter. And when she does, the fallout is going to be massive. Carter is going to be so disappointed that she kept it a secret for so long. And with Daphne already having a conception timing app, it seems their family dreams could be put on hold for a while due to all this extreme stress. Okay, I need another sip of this terrible coffee because we have to talk about the corporate drama. The fashion house war, it is getting so ugly. Bill Spencer and Katie Logan Spencer, they are making huge waves in the fashion industry. They are shaking up the entire landscape. So here is the deal. Katie wants to make a name for herself. She is launching Logan, her own fashion brand, and she is using Eric Forrester's designs that Eric promised to her a long time ago. But then Eric backed out. He abandoned her, or at least that is how Bill sees it. So Bill, being the ruthless businessman that he is, told Katie to just use them anyway. He said, they belong to you. You own them. We are moving forward full speed. So they made a massive announcement, a huge press conference, a fashion preview. They put Eric's designs on models and paraded them around. Bill Spencer and Katie Logan Spencer's announcement created waves in the fashion industry. It fueled rising tension with Forrester Creations. Everyone is talking about Bill and Katie's bold, aggressive move. But is it a mistake? Will it turn out to be Katie's biggest mistake ever? Because she didn't exactly give Eric Forrester a heads up about the plan. She didn't call the patriarch of the Forrester family and say, hey, I'm using your life's work. She just did it with Bill whispering in her ear, pushing her to be ruthless and unapologetic. And the Forresters are losing their minds. Brooke Logan Forrester and Ridge Forrester are absolutely livid. They are foaming at the mouth. They actually crashed the press conference. They barged in and derailed the whole thing. They are playing dirty. It is a full-scale war between the Forresters and the Spencers. Again, the rivalry never dies. And think about poor Will Spencer in all of this. He works at Forrester Creations, but his parents are Bill and Katie. He is caught right in the middle of this bloody battlefield. He already confronted his dad. He went to Spencer Publications and yelled at Bill. He accused him of stealing Eric's designs, but Bill just smirked. Bill said, you can't steal something that you own. Typical dollar Bill, arrogant, unapologetic, defensive. So the tension is just rising and rising. Forrester Creations is furious. Logan is defiant, and Katie is standing there wondering if she just started a war she can't win. Ridge is going to come after her with everything he has. Brooke is going to make her life miserable. The sisterly bond is completely shattered. It is just toxic, nasty corporate warfare. And I am sitting here writing all this down, and my fingers are cramping, but I can't stop because the layers to this story are just insane. Let's go back to Dylan for a second, because her story ties into the corporate war too. Dylan works at Forrester now. Will works at Forrester. RJ works at Forrester. Electra works at Forrester. It is a total powder keg waiting to explode. Electra is already unhinged. She hates Dylan. She screamed at her to quit. And now Dylan is staying, and Dylan is dating Will, and Electra is dating RJ. But it's all fake. It's all based on Ivy's lies. Imagine the explosion when the truth comes out, and it will come out. It always does on this show. It is just a matter of time. Imagine Electra's face when she finds out that Dylan knew the truth the whole time. That Dylan sat there smiling, eating pizza with Will, knowing that Will actually belonged with Electra. Electra is going to physically attack her. I am calling it right now. There is going to be a massive cat fight in the Forrester showroom. Mannequins are going to get knocked over. Expensive fabric is going to be ripped. It is going to be glorious, messy television. And what about Steffi? Steffi is the boss. She told Electra to suck it up. She hired Dylan. She wants peace in the office. But Steffi has her own severe problems. Steffi is dealing with her mom, Taylor, sleeping with Deacon Sharp, while Sheila Carter lurks outside the window. I mean, Steffi does not have the bandwidth to deal with receptionist drama, but she is going to have to, because her office is turning into a war zone. But back to Wednesday, the celebration, the secret, the fertility app, the fashion war, it is all happening at once. It is a collision course of bad decisions and selfish motives. Dylan is choosing survival over honesty. She is choosing a fake romance over a clear conscience. And I get it. I really do. If I was facing homelessness, I might keep my mouth shut too, especially if a scary Forrester was threatening me. Ivy is terrifying. She has that smug, arrogant look on her face. She thinks she is playing chess and everyone else is just pawns on her board. And she is right for now. She moved RJ into position. She moved Electra into position. She blocked Will. She silenced Dylan. She intimidated Daphne. Ivy is the absolute MVP of manipulation right now. She is running the entire board, but she is getting sloppy. She left a witness, Daphne, and Daphne is a wild card because Daphne has a conscience and Daphne has Carter. If Carter pulls the thread, the whole sweater unravels completely. Carter is the key to this whole thing. If he stops focusing on the fertility app for 5 minutes and actually interrogates his wife, the truth comes out. But for Wednesday, March 25, the secrets stay buried, the lies continue. Will toasts to Dylan's new job. Dylan forces a smile and swallows her heavy guilt. Electra swims with RJ and tries to forget Will. Daphne silences her phone and tries to make a baby while ignoring her moral compass. And Katie braces for the hurricane of Forrester rage coming her way. It is messy. It is clunky. It is human. And that is why we watch. That is why I am up at 3 a.m. typing this massive report for you guys, because we need to analyze every single angle. We need to understand why these people do these crazy things. Dylan doesn't want to be plan B, but by keeping the secret, she is guaranteeing that she will never be plan A, because a relationship built on a lie is a house of cards. The wind is going to blow and it is going to come crashing down. Will is going to look at her differently when he finds out. He is going to see her not as the sweet girl who needed a job, but as the liar who kept him from his true love. And that is the absolute tragedy of Melissa Dillon. She is orchestrating her own heartbreak. She is so afraid of losing Will that she is doing the exact thing that will eventually make him hate her. It is poetic, really. Sad, clunky, and poetic. Let's talk more about where Dylan came from. She was an art teacher, a respectable profession, but things went wrong. She ended up washing dishes at Il Giardino, scraping plates, smelling like garlic and old pasta. Deacon Sharp gave her a chance there. But she was at the bottom. She was sleeping on a friend's couch. She had nothing. And then she meets Will. And there is a spark. They hang out at the beach house, the beautiful cliffside beach house, the waves crashing, the ocean breeze, and they kiss, a moment of pure magic. But it was forbidden because Will belonged to Electra, and Electra is Forrester royalty. Well, Forrester adjacent. She is an elite She wears designer clothes. She doesn't smell like dishwater. So Electra finds out about the kiss and all hell breaks loose. Electra dumps Will. Electra hates Dylan. The friendship is destroyed. And Dylan is left standing there wondering what she did wrong. She just followed her heart. But then Steffi steps in. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, the co-CEO, the boss lady. Steffi looks at Dylan and says, I am going to give you a job, a real job at Forrester Creations, the glass building, the glamour, the fashion. It is a Cinderella story. Dylan gets the job, and that is why the stakes are so incredibly high. That is why Ivy's threat works so well. Ivy knows that Dylan has tasted the good life now. Dylan has sat at the receptionist desk. She has felt the expensive fabric. She has seen the power. She does not want to go back to scraping plates at Il Giardino. She does not want to go back to being a nobody. So when Ivy says, I will take it all away, Dylan believes her because Ivy can. Ivy has the last name. Ivy has the influence. Ivy could whisper in Steffi's ear and Dylan would be out on the street before lunch. It is a classic power dynamic. The rich manipulating the poor, and Dylan is just a pawn. But she is a pawn who is falling in love with the knight. Will Spencer, the handsome, wealthy, confused knight. Will is hurting. He is bleeding emotionally because Electra cut him off. He tried so hard to get her back. He went to her desk. He tried to talk to her, but he found his broken necklace, the symbol of their love, smashed, left on the desk like garbage. Will thought Electra did that. He thought Electra was sending a cruel message. We are broken, beyond repair. But it wasn't Electra. It was Ivy. Ivy placed it there. Ivy set the stage. Ivy is the director of this tragic play. And Will bought it, hook, line, and sinker. He gave up. He said, fine, if Electra hates me that much, I am moving on. And who is standing right there ready to catch him? Melissa Dillon. So Will says, let's celebrate, let's get pizza. Let's get beers. Let's toast to your new job and our new beginning. And Dylan sits there looking at him, knowing that the only reason he is sitting across from her is because of a stolen letter and a misplaced necklace. It is sickening. It really is. I am sitting here typing this and I feel sick to my stomach for her. The guilt must be crushing. How do you swallow a slice of pizza when your throat is tight with lies? How do you laugh at a joke when your brain is screaming, tell him the truth? You don't. You fake it. You become an actor. Dylan is acting her way through this celebration. She is pretending to be the happy new girlfriend, the successful new employee. But inside, she is waiting for the executioner's axe to fall. Because in the soap opera world, the truth is the axe, and it always falls. Always. Let's expand on RJ and Electra. Because while Will and Dylan are having their fake happy celebration, RJ and Electra are having a very real, very manipulated romantic evening. RJ Forrester, he is a good kid. He is talented. He has a good heart, but he is being used. Ivy is using him as a shiny object to distract Electra. Ivy went to RJ and basically said, hey, Electra is vulnerable. Go get her. And RJ, who already had a massive crush on her, didn't need to be told twice. So RJ invites Electra over to the Forrester mansion, the big sprawling estate, the history in those walls, Eric's house, the pool in the backyard. It is the perfect setting for romance. They have a private dinner, just the two of them, eating expensive food, drinking expensive wine, talking about their feelings, and Electra is ranting. She is probably complaining about Dylan, complaining about Will, and RJ is just sitting there being the supportive shoulder to cry on. He is listening. He is validating her anger, which is exactly what she wants to hear. She wants someone to tell her she is right, and RJ does that. Then they go for a swim, a moonlight swim. The water is warm. The lighting is perfect. They get out of the pool. The water is dripping off them, and there is a moment, a sizzling, undeniable moment. The tension is thick. They lean in, they flirt, they take selfies. Selfies! the weapon of mass destruction in the modern age. They take these cute, wet, glowing selfies and they post them on social media. Boom, sent out to the world. And who is watching all of this? Ivy. Ivy is literally spying on them, creeping around the Forrester estate, watching from the bushes or a balcony, smirking, smiling her evil little smile. Her plan is working flawlessly. And who is going to see those selfies? Will. Will is going to be sitting there, maybe after his celebration with Dylan, scrolling through his phone. And he is going to see the girl he loves wet and smiling next to RJ Forrester. That is going to be the final nail in the coffin. That is the moment Will is going to say, okay, it's really over. She has completely moved on. And that is the moment he is going to turn to Dylan and fully commit. He is going to pull Dylan into his arms and say, let's see where this goes. A passionate encounter is looming, all because of a selfie, all because of Ivy's manipulation. It is a domino effect. Ivy pushes the first domino by stealing the letter. That knocks over the necklace. That knocks over Will's hope. That pushes Electra to RJ. That leads to the pool. That leads to the selfie. That knocks over Will's final defense. And boom, he is in bed with Dylan. And Dylan knows she is the last domino. She knows the whole chain of events, but she refuses to stop it. She is complicit. She is an accessory after the fact. Let's talk more about Daphne and Carter, because their story is the quiet tragedy in the background of all this loud drama. Carter Walton. The man just wants a family. He has been through so many bad relationships, so many women who betrayed him or left him. He finally found Daphne, the quirky, passionate perfumer from Paris, the nose. They got married, they committed to each other, and they decided, let's have a baby right away. Let's start our legacy. But biology is a cruel mistress. It doesn't care about your plans. They are trying, and it's not happening. And the anxiety is building. They downloaded the apps. They are tracking the temperature. They are counting the days. So Wednesday night, the app beeps. It's time. They drop everything. They go to the bedroom. They try to be romantic, but there is a mechanical urgency to it. It's a chore. And Daphne's mind is a million miles away. Her mind is in the design room at Forrester Creations, replaying that argument with Ivy, replaying the moment Ivy admitted to stealing the letter, replaying the look of shock on Dylan's face when she overheard them. Daphne is a sensitive soul. She makes perfumes for a living. She deals in subtleties and emotions. She cannot handle this blunt, ugly manipulation. It goes against her nature. She believes in love. She believes Will and Electra belong together. So she is lying in bed next to her husband, feeling like a fraud. She is trying to create a new life, a pure, innocent baby, while harboring a dark, toxic secret. The juxtaposition is jarring. She turns to Carter, the strong, moral lawyer, and she tests the waters. She mentions the drama. Carter, things are so messy with Ivy, Will, and Electra. I don't know what to do. She is practically begging him to ask her for more details. She wants him to pull the truth out of her so she doesn't have to volunteer it. But Carter, bless his heart, misses the cue. He is tired. He is focused on the baby making. He just wants peace in his house. So he says, honey, let it go. It's not our circus, not our monkeys. Let them fight it out. We need to focus on us, on our future. It is the absolute wrong answer, but it is the answer Daphne accepts because it is the easy way out. She sighs, she nods, she swallows the secret back down, but it is going to fester. It is going to rot inside her. You cannot build a healthy family on a foundation of lies and stress. The infertility storyline is likely going to be exacerbated by this stress. Her body is rejecting the pregnancy because her mind is in turmoil. That is my theory anyway. The mind-body connection is real, folks, and Carter is going to figure it out eventually. He is too smart not to. He is going to notice her brooding. He is going to notice her staring off into space. He is going to push her. Daphne, what is really going on? And when she finally breaks, when she finally cries and tells him that Ivy stole the letter and manipulated everyone, Carter is going to be furious, not just at Ivy, but at Daphne for keeping it from him, for letting Will suffer. Will is the son of Bill Spencer, a man Carter deals with all the time. The corporate implications alone are messy. Speaking of corporate implications,